doing a pairing progression, you would always start with a dry white first, right? And then you would move into your red, and then you would finish with a little bit of sweetness. So that's kind of what we wanted to keep in mind here. The red wine you have, red wines, like I was saying earlier, are tricky to pick and do with Indian food because of the spice. Probably one of the Indian themed music, gonna get you in the mood for the food. All right, but as much as I would shout from that. Okay. I would say, you know, we've run this winery, been making wine for a little over 6 years now. So we've had a lot of different, everyone from varied places and preferences. One of the most common types of wines everyone's looking for, big red. Everyone wants big cab or full-bodied red, which is cool. But at the same time, there's been a movement to enjoy and appreciate other wines. The big Pinot movement that happened, and partially with that movie, Sideways, that came out, was great because it got people to appreciate other facets of red wine and appreciate having what softer reds do in addition to big full-bodied reds, yeah? And I'll throw out there that one of the worst wines you can have with Indian spicy food is a big, heavy, dry cab. They don't do much for each other, yeah? If you want to drink it, that's cool, and eat it, that's cool too. You can do whatever you want, nothing tell you wrong. But the flip side, when you do find a nice pairing, what they do is they work together. You know, it's like two partners that are dancing well. You know, and the performance they put on is much more beautiful when they're working together. Yeah, they're both doing their own thing. You have great performances, but they're not necessarily accentuating each other. Yeah. So I would say, with red wines and spicy food, it's hard to find a good match. Go ahead and take a sip of this wine if you haven't already. Don't finish it all. You know. Hopefully not. I know it's good. I like drinking it. But what I would suggest is softer reds that have some body and some fruit are a great match as well for spicy foods with the flavorful food like from Jiva. So what you have is a Chilean Pinot. It's one of my favorite wines on our list because I enjoy drinking it in great volume. It's both. Pinots are more subtle grapes. Yeah, the flavor is a lighter body red with more subtle characteristics, but that doesn't mean it has to be wimpy. And I think that this is a good example. This is a lighter body red that's got a lot of flavor. It's got huge amounts of like cherry and strawberry fruit. It's got some acid to it. It's got a little bit of spice. Very low tannins. It's more about being jammy. It's like a fresh picked ripe strawberry to me. That's kind of one of the driving characteristics. And so this is why I thought this is a nice wine to match up against food that has a little bit of spice to it. Because if a wine is too dry, like those cabs I was talking about, big reds with spicy food, the tannins in the wine, right, the quality of the wine drying out your teeth and your tongue and your taste buds is going to make a spicy meal seem hotter, you know, because it's going to dry your tongue. There's no baseline. It's like a dry brush fire. It's like dry brush in California. It's going to light up, you know. So on your tongue, same thing. Like what you want is some fruit to kind of set a nice baseline of coolness, and then you have the spice in there. So this is I hope that this goes well together. I didn't get to eat all the way yet, but so this is the Chilean Pinot. Following this is going to be a white wine with a little bit of sweetness. So if you can, you can work your way around the plate. Jiva will talk about it in a little bit, but save a little bit of it so that you can then do the white wine with everything that's on the plate as well. Yeah. So yeah. All right.
On a serious note, and I see it all the time, so please be very careful about this. When you're eating Indian food and you bring wine, try to only bring as much as you think is good. Because Indian food tends to be a little spicy. A lot of people are washing it down with wine and washing it down. So I've seen 2 or 3 bottles later and people are like, wow, this is tumble up. Very, very conscious about that.
When that one guy who's eating by himself finishes that 3rd bottle, whoo, he's legs over.
Actually, if you want to cool down, yogurt type dishes are better for cooling than any kind of water or wine.